So,
And so,
what's a long view?
well, it's along here.
Okay.
And here is because of the events, tools, processes we've created in our past, and the future will receive the gifts from here. Our here is creating tomorrow for ourselves, our children, and their grandchildren, just as our past created us here. Now, looking at our own upcreation.
Our own up-creation.
Yeah. When we view paradigm shifts within the framework of a long past with a long future, we recognize that paradigm shifts offer opportunities available when the system, not available when the system is more mature and by its nature less pliable, attracting. There's more chaos today, but also far more opportunity.
Well, yes, and the chaos and the opportunity are an integrated system.
Yes.
Yeah, if there wasn't chaos, there wouldn't be a lot of opportunity. But this raises the issue of the here and the there. And the Taylor axiom, you can't get there from here. And there's two fundamental reasons why you can't. One, the you that gets there is not the you that planned to get there. You change in the process of doing it. And so does the rest of the world. And so your vision there from here is never going to come out. It's not, it can't be that accurate, but it's extraordinarily useful because what you can do is bring a little bit of that there, that vision back to here every day. And no matter what your task is, you could be a gardener, you could be an architect, you could be a politician, and you're dealing with all the realities of the world you live in, but you can deal with those effectively and bring a little bit of that vision back every day into what that is. And that's actually how change happens.
Stands require investigations, explorations. While each of our stands is unique as each of us, there are people who have come before, paving the way for us to succeed, or at least lay the foundation for further success. Whose shoulders does your stand on? Be eclectic in your research. Let one discovery lead to another and another. How far back can you go in your investigations? What did our way back ancestors know that we need to bring forward into our stand?
And what visions did they have? And in doing that, you find out that hundreds of years ago, people were dreaming about what we're doing globally now, the issues we're dealing with, and finally now we are dealing, and we have over the century, one after the other, we have become a better society despite all our present problems. And it takes that long. And a lot of the things we're talking about today still will be issues a long time in the future, which is not to be discouraged. It is to be encouraged and also to get going with it.
We often talk about changing our minds, as if each of us has our own mind. What if that's a false notion?
Mm-hmm.
David Abrams, in his book Becoming Animals, speaks of Earth as having mind, and each living thing has access to this mind. All species, all life. Perhaps this is why our first or ancient people could speak to plants and animals and learn from their wisdom, which they have passed on to us today. Seeking alternative views to what is popular or assumed as the truth can be more easily challenged during paradigm shifts. Today, I consider that I'm dipping into a shared, beautiful, all-encompassing mind. And I often wonder if people who are so original or wake up at 7 years old and are a pianist of an exceptional talent have tapped into that mind and pulling it forth. So I think, for me, this paradigm of Earth having mind gives me lots to think about how the Earth and how all of us are contributing in different ways.
Yes, in actuality, if you look at the period where science became very dominant and it was kind of mechanistic, and threw out a lot of the old ancient beliefs and concerns and models. But if you look at the scientists of the last century and the invention of quantum mechanics, and if you look at what those scientists researched, they went back They read old ancient documents. They created a whole new model. And the scientific model, of which most of us who are not scientists, is actually far more encompassing in this idea of entanglement.
Yeah.
That everything is communicating with everything, and it always does, and it never won't.
Yeah, it
and
never
and,
won't.
and science now talks about ideas and energy.
Yeah.
And so that's an important thing to remember and to refresh ourselves, that we make sure that our science and our philosophy and our aspirations are
It's all inclusive.
inclusive.
Yeah. So stands, remember, stands are not projects. They're more like scaffolding, enabling you to see perspectives and possibilities in new and creative ways. The future asks you to take a stand, to help shape a new paradigm that gets it right for all life, something that's in your heart. Stands are like panopticons, where you can see from one position 360 degrees. It is here that you will find the steps to take in assembling the complexity of your stand. You will find the necessary attractors and partners. And I just want to tell a little story about the word panopticons because it really caught my attention. It comes from Danny Hillis.
Yeah, Danny Hillis.
Rob has to take this part out. Comes from Danny Hillis, who had created one of the fastest, most comprehensive computer systems in the world. And when he had done this, gotten recognition, he stopped. He was a Disney fellow. He stopped at Disneyland, sat on a bench, and suddenly asked himself, speed, quickness, more? Why? What if I slow down? What if I look at 10,000 years? What is my hurry?
Yeah.
And he then said he saw this 360-degree view of a world that had slowed down, that had taken time to do the work that needed to be done to create a world that works for all of us. And so, to me, that's a really beautiful story of inspiration and how creativity happens.
Yeah, that became the Long Now Foundation,
Yeah.
and building a clock that will run by itself for how many years?
10,000 years.
10,000 years.
Yeah.
And it's being built. So one thing in the closing. Your vision, your stand is unique. There is no one else on the planet, before or after, that will actually have exactly that view of the world. And so it's important that we honor and respect each one's view. It's not a matter of agreement, and it's not a matter of choosing. It's a matter of synthesizing and being encouraged and putting together something that none of us alone could make. And that's extraordinarily important. Love your stand, understand your stand, research it, research what's around it, and stand by it.
Yeah. Good.